in 1974, 19th of July 1974, the Turks invaded Cyprus. We knew they were going to. And shall we just say that perhaps the United Kingdom was not on the front foot when this particular event occurred, and about 23, 24 hours after the Turks quite clearly were going into northern Cyprus, we embarked on a 13.5-hour Hercules flight with our 4 vehicles to go and, in essence, go to the High Commission in Nicosia and look after the High Commissioner and, if necessary, destroy whatever was in the High Commission and look after the individual. And there are a couple of quite entertaining tales about that. The first is getting to Cyprus. You really would have thought that we were into World War III. A very idyllic Mediterranean posting with people who were used to being on the beach by 12 o'clock, in the military I'm talking about, was suddenly hive of activity, frenetic activity, panic amongst the families, unsurprisingly, because who knew where the Turks were going to stop. There were people who really sort of separated themselves into 2 camps. There was the sort of one piece that was saying, why should anybody be allowed to come and stay in my house? I'd reached this particular rank, and then there were others who had 4 or 5 families from outlying places who were coming and staying in their quarters. But there was a prevailing attitude of, this can't really be happening. And I remember thinking, I do not need to be told what to do in this particular circumstance. And we just got a couple of helicopters, which you could do in those days in Cyprus. A couple of naval Wessets that were actually at Akrotiri, and we flew to Nicosia and just got on with what we had to get on with. And 2 things happened. The first was that the Turks and the Greeks decided that they'd have a confrontation in the grounds of the High Commission, which led to us having to destroy quite a lot of material and documents, which was probably the only time that I've seen soldiers really rub their hands with glee about destroying things, as they chucked phosphorus grenades into safes with loads of British government material in them. A destruction technique that you practice but you don't really ever believe you're going to do. I had a moment where I hit someone who was trembling in the corner and dressed in civilian clothes, and I didn't really know who he was, but he wasn't following my instructions, which were to get the hell out and get in the vehicle and we get him to safety. High Commissioner was excellent, really first class. I think his name was Eric Lubbock, and he'd gone on with everything we asked him to get on with. I subsequently discovered that the person I had hit was actually a very, very senior officer who will remain nameless because he's dead now, who could not believe what we were doing. But I'm told as a direct result of that, my name was up in headlights with 1 or 2 of the authorities for striking a very senior officer who had frankly lost it. But it didn't mean the end for people like myself, who just had a job to get on and do, and he fully understood it. Shall I say, my farewell interview with the same officer from Cyprus, when I said, right, we're off back, can I go and see so-and-so? They said yes, and as I walked in and saluted, much to my surprise, his black eye was still shining, and he said, now perhaps you understand why people were a bit surprised when you hit me. But heck, needs must, and you get on and do what you have to do to get the situation under control. Rumour has it that medals, again, which I find, they're nice records of what you've done, but that's about it. Would have come our way, or certainly my way, but shall we say passed on this particular occasion.